Be sure that this is love beyond compare. Would all this be true if I didn't care for you?
On this day in 1868, blood flowed on the Washita River in western Oklahoma when Lieutenant Colonel George Custer and his 7th Cavalry attacked and burned the village of Cheyenne chief Black Kettle. The Cheyenne had been bitterly resisting the building of the railroad in their territory, but it seems that Black Kettle had been negotiating for peace at the time of his death. American playwright Eugene O'Neill, Nobel Prize winner in 1936 and 4 times Pulitzer Prize winner, died on this day in 1953. O'Neill was aged 65 at the time of his death. Although at times inconsistent, his best work, such as Morning Becomes Electra and The Iceman Cometh, is equal to any other 20th century playwrights. On this day in 1944, an explosion was heard as far away as Geneva when 4,000 tons of explosives stored in a cabin in Staffordshire, England, blew up, destroying a farm and killing 68 people. On this day in 1965, public experiments with LSD started in La Honda, California by Ken Kesey and his merry pranksters. Despite its hallucinogenic qualities, LSD was legal and being manufactured in large quantities in simple home laboratories, notably by the legendary Owsley Stanley. On this day in 1895, the death occurred of the French novelist and dramatist Alexandre Dumas. Dumas wrote the novel La Dame aux Camélias and adapted it for the stage as Camille. And now a look at those people throughout history who were born on this day. Anders Celsius, the Swedish astronomer who invented the Celsius temperature scale, was born in 1701. Czechoslovakian politician Alexander Dubček was born in 1921. And the American singer and ace guitarist Jimi Hendrix was born on this day in 1942. It all happened on this day. And it was on this day, the first playing. We'll repeat that again at 11:15 tonight. It's 19 minutes past 9 o'clock on Southern FM 88.3. The Moorabbin College of TAFE Centre for English, Maths and VCE at the Moorabbin College are offering a 3-week summer school in December. The course of 16 hours per week is aimed at people who need to brush up on their basic skills, those who lack confidence so that they can either get a job, get more training or do more study. The fee for the 3-week course is just $48 for 48 hours. So that's pretty good, isn't it? $1 an hour. Further information, ring Crystal Dubois on 209-5891. That's 209-5891 at the Moorabbin College of TAFE, 488 South Road, Moorabbin. your invitation to be tuned to Southern FM on Sunday for this week's heat of Southern Talent Quest. This program, featuring up-and-coming talent, will be broadcast between 2 and 3 p.m. Your announcer will be Ray Lawrence, and your compere is Bob Horsfall. For an hour of great entertainment, don't miss Southern Talent Quest, Sunday 2 till 3 on 88.3 Southern FM. Gee, we had a good heat today. Heat 2 was held today, and next week we have Heat 3 between 2 and 3 p.m. And some great talent coming out of the young people that we're putting to air. So make that a listening must. Every Sunday for the next 3 weeks at least, we have 2 more heats, and then we have the final of Southern Talent Quest. Okay, our time is 24 and a half minutes past 9 at 9:30 Crosby Corner. Listening to Thanks for the Memory, part of your weekend on Southern FM 88.3.
You shouldn't have kissed me the first time, 'cause now you gotta do it again. Oh, what a wonderful feeling, but one was too many for me. And now I don't care, baby, wherever we go, we gonna put on a kiss and show. You shouldn't have kissed me the first time, 'cause now you gotta do it. Yes, you gotta do it. Now you gotta do it again.
No, it wasn't Al Jolson. For those of you who were thinking Al Jolson, it was Norman Brooks. An Al Jolson guy, I guess an impersonator who sounded very much like Al Jolson, with Bert Faber and the orchestra from the 1950s. You Shouldn't Have Kissed Me the First Time, and before that, I'm in the Market for You, which was played for us by George Olsen and his orchestra. Song written in 1930. Jay McCarthy and James Hanley wrote it, and it was featured in the movie High Society Blues. Southern FM 88.3, it's 9:30.
Where the blue of the night meets the gold of the day, someone waits for me.
On Thanks for the Memory, we present Crosby Corner.
Crowns the blue of her eyes like a halo tenderly. If only I could see her.
And welcome to another edition of Crosby Corner. 2 more songs from Bing tonight. Firstly, Dancing in the Dark from the year 1931. Written by Howard Dietz and Arthur Schwartz, the song was featured in the review The Bandwagon. In 1931, many people had huge hits with this particular song, but it's with the Bing version that we're interested in tonight. He recorded this version with a small studio orchestra in Los Angeles on the 19th of August, 1931. Bing Crosby, Dancing in the Dark.
And we can face the music together, dancing in the dark.
A fine treatment there of a classic song, Dancing in the Dark, from Bing Crosby with small studio orchestra. Well, now our second number in tonight's Crosby Corner is Sweet Georgia Brown, the song written by Ben Burney, Maceo Pinkard and Ken Casey. The tune was popularised by Ben Burney and his orchestra, and Bing recorded this version that we're about to play in Los Angeles on the 23rd of April 1932, and he was backed by the Isham Jones Orchestra. The recording we're playing is in English Columbia 78 of Sweet Georgia Brown.
It's been said that she knocks them dead when she lands in town. Since she came, why, it's a shame how she cools them down. Fellas she can't get, must be fellas that she ain't met. Georgia claimed her, Georgia named her Sweet Georgia. They call her Sweet Miss Georgia Brown.
Bing Crosby with Isham Jones and the orchestra, and from 1932, Sweet Georgia Brown, bringing to a close tonight's edition of Crosby Corner.
Where the blue of the night meets the gold of the day, someone waits for me.
22 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Hope you enjoyed Crosby Corner for this week. Another couple of nice tunes, weren't there?
When you can't read and write properly, life can be very difficult.
How can I help my kids to read when I can't do it myself?
Oh, I'd lose my job if the boss ever found out.
They feel like a second-class citizen.
You can get help to improve your reading and writing skills in your own home, and it's free. Call the Reading Writing Hotline for details. 1-800-02-1184. You can do it. 1-800-02-1184.
Now, at 10 o'clock tonight, our special is part 2 of the Eddie Cantor story. A lot of people spoke to me during the week. They were particularly interested in part 1, and we'll have part 2 tonight. It's a fairly rare record. I happened to get it overseas, and it's the first time that I've heard it played on Melbourne radio. So I hope you will stay tuned for part 2 of the Eddie Cantor story tonight, his story told in his own words and in his music. Residents and friends of the city of Springvale are invited to a celebration to mark the end of an era and the beginning of a new era in local government. It's the Red Gum Community Festival at Braeside Park on Sunday, December 4th from 2 p.m. until dusk. A full program of events and entertainment will be presented from the main stage, plus free rides including Circuitron, Bungee Runner and the amazing electronic surfboard. The Victorian Boomerang Throwing Championship will also be held between 10 and 3 p.m. For further details about the Red Gum Community Festival, phone 549-1111. 549-1111. The festival is proudly provided by the City of Springvale with the assistance of Braeside Park.
SouthernFM 88.3.
Vera Lynn.
Till the stars lose their glory. Yours till the birds fail to sing. Yours to the end. How could I, when I was born to be just yours?
Dame Vera Lynn it was, and with the assistance of Roland Shaw and his orchestra and members of Her Majesty's Forces, the lovely song Yours. On Southern FM, thanks for the memory, it's 17 to 10.
The theme from Prisoner, remember? The series celebrating its 15th anniversary is still popular in Australasia, Bahamas, Barbados, Israel, Netherlands, Poland, South Africa, Sweden, Trinidad, and big news in the United Kingdom. Small wonder there's now an official Prisoner Cell Block H fan club, as well as a fanzine. Prisoner, the Wentworth Star. A magazine about the series and cast members. For details, ring 03 563 8334, leaving name and phone number. Proceeds will aid the Women's Counselling Network for inmates. That's 03 563 8334 for news about Prisoner, the Wentworth Star.
The Mordialloc area of the Australian Institute of Genealogical Studies, Incorporated, will meet on Monday, 28th of November 1994 at St Nicholas's Anglican Church Hall, corner of Bear and Albert Streets, Mordialloc, at 8 p.m. Now, that's right opposite the Mordialloc railway station. A guest panel will speak on genealogical goodies, and their Christmas breakup will also take place. All are welcome. Visitors $3 and members are free. And for inquiries, ring Gary on 7464 7464 for the Mordialloc Area Institute of Genealogical Studies. Now, that's tomorrow, so note that if you're intending to go, it is tomorrow. 15 and a half away from 10 o'clock. I think it's time we had a bit of a dance around the kitchen table. Come on, Mum and Dad. Get up there and have an evening three-step. Here we go. Goes better if I hit this key. Until midnight, you're with Thanks for the Memory with Alex Hehr on the great southern sounds of Melbourne, Southern FM 88.3.
An old-fashioned tune always is new. It never seems to go out of style. For just when you start thinking it's through, it comes down from the shelf with a smile. A simple melody will always linger. I mean, the kind you pick out with one finger. If you have some thought rhyming with June, express them in an old-fashioned tune.
You're tuned to the great southern sounds of Melbourne, 88.3 Southern FM.
Music that time from, Freddie Martin and his orchestra with a vocal by Bill Stoker. An old-fashioned tune is always new, and that came from the film called Second Fiddle. It's 10 minutes to 10. We're 10 minutes away from our special, and if you'd like to ring, tell me how much you're enjoying the program while the special is on, because I'll have about half an hour to talk on the telephone. I haven't got anyone here on phones tonight, so it's a little bit difficult when the phones ring, but I'll be there for you at 10 o'clock if you'd like to give a call and tell me if you're enjoying the program or if you'd like a request played. Happy to do that for you anytime. All right, more music.
My story is much too sad to be told, but practically everything leaves me totally cold. The only exception I know is the case when I'm out on a quiet spree, fighting vainly the old ennui, and I suddenly turn and see your fabulous face. I get no kick from champagne. Mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. So tell me, why should it be true that I get a kick out of you? Some get a kick from cocaine. I'm sure that if I took even one sniff, that would bore me terrifically too. Yet I get a kick out of you. I get a kick every time I see you're standing there before me. I get a kick, though it's clear to me you obviously don't adore me. I get no kick in a plane, flying too high with some guy in the sky is my idea of nothing to do.
Cole Porter wrote the song, and it was introduced by old leather lungs herself, Ethel Merman, in the show Anything Goes, way back in 1934. And there she was with her original recording, I Get a Kick Out of You. Moves our time along to 6.5 minutes before 10.
Vitamin B1 your family needs daily. Be sure you put Vegemite next to the pepper and salt whenever you set the table.
And the time is now 5 minutes to 10 o'clock. And here comes some music. We heard that time Richard Tucker with Alfredo Antonini conducting the Columbia Concert Orchestra and the Italian folk song Tiri Tomba. We played that one for Les of East Bentley. I hope you liked it, Les. And previous to that, we had Wings Over the Navy, Jim Davidson and his ABC Dance Orchestra, recorded in Sydney on the 29th of September 1939 with Edmund Butterworth, the vocalist. It's just after 10 o'clock. You're on Southern FM 88.3. And it's time for our 10 o'clock special, as usual. And tonight, we're featuring part 2 of the Eddie Cantor story. Last week we played part 1, or act 1, whatever. And tonight, we continue with part 2. So sit back, relax, have a cuppa as we play part 2 of the Eddie Cantor story.
Getting back to my early days in show business, the year 1912.
Up if you knew Susie like I know Susie. Oh, what a girl.
Hope you enjoyed part 2 of the Eddie Cantor story. An interesting footnote to that particular production: at the close of Eddie's one-man Carnegie Hall concert, he was given the One World Award for having raised, over a period of 40 years, no less than $150 million for deserving causes. Some testament to a great man. The Eddie Cantor story. And next week, at the same time, we'll have another 10 o'clock special. I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure that next week we'll have part 3 of the series, If I Had a Talking Picture. If I Had a Talking Picture, next week at 10 o'clock. 27 and a half minutes past 10 o'clock. Hope you enjoyed that. Wasn't it good? The Eddie Cantor story there in his own words and his own song.
I'm for the whalers.
It certainly is, and we have a warning. Strong west to southwesterly winds over Victorian coastal waters east of Wilson's Promontory will moderate overnight. For Port Phillip and Western Port Bays, south to southwesterly winds of 15 to 20 knots, easing to 10 to 15 knots tonight. Wind becoming variable to 10 knots early tomorrow, with afternoon sea breezes to 20 knots. If you got all of that, you're better than me, Gunga did. Waves about 1 metre, abating to near half a metre in the morning. And for Melbourne and the metropolitan area, cloudy periods with a shower or two tonight. Fine tomorrow with lengthy sunny periods, moderate to fresh southwesterly winds becoming light and variable tomorrow, with a fresh afternoon sea breeze. Minimum overnight should be 11, maximum tomorrow 21, and currently on the roof here at Southern FM, it's 15 degrees.
I'm an expert. When it comes to open fires, I know how to make them burn efficiently. I keep my fires clean and use the correct solid fuel. Effective burning means economy and cleaner air. And I always leave a window or door slightly open so the fire can breathe. So can I, for that matter. Nothing like a bit of oxygen to keep a clear head.
Ventilation. It's nothing to get all stuffy about.
I never get stuffy.
A message from your State Pollution Control Authority and the Commonwealth Department of Health.
You'd think after all the times I've played that, I would remember about the tag. 29 minutes after 10 o'clock, and our next special will be at 11 when we have for you comedy. And tonight we're having Richard Murdoch and Arthur Askey in Big and Stinker's Parlour Games. So stay tuned for that. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
I know that they're mistaken, but I want to hear it from you. Say it isn't so. Say it isn't so. Everyone is saying you don't love me. Say it isn't so. Everywhere I go, everyone I know whispers that you're growing tired of me. Say it isn't so. People say that you found somebody new, and it won't be long before you leave me. Say it isn't true. Say that everything is still okay. That's all I want to know. And what they're saying, say it isn't so.
The great southern sounds of Melbourne. 88.3 Southern FM.
Life is nothing without music. It isn't so. If you only know where to look to find the silver lining. Life is nothing without music. While the orchestra is playing, about those gray days, we'll be happy while we dance. Tunes we love will make us realize that life is nothing without music. Well, there's music, we'll find
Life is nothing without music. And that was Sam Brown with orchestra directed by Bert Reed, and a song written in 1939 by Fred Hartley, and it was actually Fred Hartley's theme tune on BBC Radio. And Brendan Scott rang in while that was playing, and Brendan's listening and enjoying the program. Thanks, mate, for listening. And Brendan is a presenter here on Southern FM every Wednesday for Drive, and a great show it is too. Steve Price, got to send a greeting to Steve, and to Jan Simcoe, also out there in listening land, and thanks for your calls. It's 23 minutes away from 11 o'clock now. You with Southern FM 88.3.
As a phone user, you now have access to the Telecommunications Industry Ombudsman, an independent office established to help settle any unresolved complaints or disputes you may have with your telephone company. The Telecommunications Ombudsman is a last resort free service for those telephone complaints that seem unsolvable. If you have a complaint, you can call the Ombudsman's office toll-free on 1-800-062-058. That's 1-800-062-058. An industry ombudsman for phone users.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you very much. And 11 o'clock, comedy tonight with Arthur Askey and Richard Murdoch. Should be good. Stay with us.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you on R.A.P.M.
That your makeup starts to run and your eyes get red and scrappy. Forget your troubles, have yourself a little fun, have a ball. Forget it all, forget your troubles, come on, get happy, keep on smiling.
Judy Garland, and I know Andy would enjoy that one very much. Judy Garland and When You're Smiling. And before that, we heard, what did we hear? You'd Be So Nice to Come Home To. Carol Gibbons and the Savoy Hotel Orpheans, the vocal by Edna Kay, and a song from 1942, of course, written by Cole Porter.
Tack a box puts pep into your pup, and to your pussycat too. Tack a box puts pep into your pup, it's full of vitamins and it's true. Dogs and cats love Tack a box, no other brand will do. Tack a box puts pep into your pup, and to your pussycat too.
15 and a half minutes to 11. The Horidagi Quintet, I think, on that one with the old Tucker Box ad. Remember it? I certainly do. Until midnight, you're listening to Thanks for the Memory with Alex Hehr on the great Southern Sounds of Melbourne, Southern FM 88.3.
I can see no matter how near you'll be, you'll never belong to me. But I can dream and I pretend that I'm locked in the bend of your embrace. For dreams are just like wine, and I am drunk with mine. I'm aware my heart is a sad affair. There's much disillusion there, but I can dream, can't I? Can't I adore you, although we are oceans apart? I can't make you open your heart, but I can dream, can't that I'm locked in the bend of your embrace. For dreams are just like wine, and I am drunk with mine. I'm aware my heart is a sad affair. There's much disillusion there, but I can dream, can't I? Can't I adore you, although we are oceans apart? I can't make you open your heart, but I can dream.
12 minutes to 11. Isn't that a pretty song from Eve Boswell with Geraldo and his orchestra? The song was written in 1937. That recording made in London in 1949. And I can dream, can't I? We've had a nice lot of phone calls this evening, and just had one from Robert Williams over there in Preston, who sends greetings to Jan and Andy. So there you are, girls, from Robert, and it's great to have you on board, Robert. We hope you enjoy the programming we have at Southern FM.
Older people, single people, working people.
When a family is hit by crisis or emergency, it's often hardest on the kids. Foster care can help, but it takes all types of foster parents to meet the needs of a growing number of Victorian families.
We need lots of people.
To find out about becoming a foster parent,
please ring 1-800-013-088. We need you.
Let's have a look at the rundown for Monday, which is the 28th of November, commencing at midnight. Bill Bennett overnight with music and your calls, and it'll be an interesting session, I think. 6 o'clock in the morning, early morning music, Mark Hehr with a lovely selection of classical music for you. Then at 8 o'clock, it's the Digger and Danny radio show, always good fun for the kiddies. 9 o'clock is Southern Celebrities, and in the morning, my good friend Bob Horsfall and Mrs. Bill Collins. Robin Collins will be on air for 2 hours of very good music and chat in Monday Magazine. 11 o'clock brings you Soul to Soul with Deborah Elise Campbell. At noon, it's the Music Mix. 2 o'clock, Southern Country with Reg Pitt. Good program of Southern Country music. Dean's World with Dean Gary Meeser at 4 through until 4:30. At 4:30, Dave Caffey's Drive takes the spotlight, and at 6:30, Your Money and Your Life with Terry Johansson. 7 o'clock right now with Kerry Blair and Noel Franklin. 8 o'clock it's the Celtic Mix with Declan Foley. 9 o'clock Projection South with Rosa Morales. 10 p.m. Tiempo de Tango with Ruben Espinoza. And at 11 o'clock the Bosnian Community Show. That's your lineup for Monday here on Southern FM 88.3, where the time is 9.5 minutes before 11 o'clock.
Can I forget you? Will the glory of your nearness fade as moonlight fades in a veil of rain? Can I forget you when every night reminds me how much I want you back again?
The pale moon was rising above the green mountain. The sun was declining beneath the blue sea. When I strayed with my love to the pure crystal fountain that stands in the beautiful vale of Tralee, the rose of Tralee.
And it was the Rose of Tralee, presented there by Kevin O'Connor, and a song written back in 1912 by Charles Glover and Mordaunt Spencer. Before that, Hildegard with Can I Forget You? And we've got time, I think, to fit this one in before we have our comedy break, which is, as I said, Arthur Askey and Richard Murdoch. Yes, we will, I think. Let's all be fairies, why not?
Once upon a time, there were two fairies. Now, there are a great many.
Tinkle, tinkle, clash, clash, clash.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Fairy bells are gaily ringing.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Everybody's gaily singing, dancing round the moonbeam. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hear our fairy footsteps.
Whoops, here we are.
Whoops, here we are. You have just heard Let's All Be Fairies.
Let's All Be Fairies. They're the Durium Dance Band, and I can pick up the distinct voice of Leslie Saroni. Recorded back in March of 1933 in London, and that record was banned, naturally enough, by the BBC and all other radio stations. But nowadays, of course, it doesn't mean a thing.
There's a magic in the music through the day and night time too. You've a friend who'll play your music. We can bring it home to you.
When things are getting tougher, we can help to pull you through. You turn us on and we'll do the same for you.
The best blend of music, community news and views. The great Southern Sounds of Melbourne. 88.3 Southern FM.
Well, our time is 11:02, a little bit late with our comedy, but it's all happening tonight, and that's the name of Steve Price's show on Tuesday nights. But the phone's been ringing, and I do appreciate all your phone calls, and Andy rang in just a little while ago, and Andy says hi to Robert and to Jane Simcoe, so there you go. And she liked the Judy Garland record, which is terrific. 11:02, time for comedy, and here's Arthur Askey and Richard Stinker Murdoch, and the track we're playing tonight is called Big and Stinker's Parlour Games. It's both sides of a Parlophone 78, so I hope you enjoy Big and Stinker's Parlour Games. Here we go.
Telling yonder peasant who is he them.
I haven't.
Well, blimey, you're going to have. Oh. When the
Big and Stinkers parlour games there. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of comedy from the 30s back in Britain. Time on Southern FM is 11:09, and at midnight tonight, Bill Bennett will take you overnight.
Ice cream is a Peter. Ice cream is a creamy Peter. Life is sweeter, so much sweeter when you're a Peter.
10 after 11. Are you between the ages of 15 and 20 and trying to decide which career path to take in 1995? Then open your mind to a career in film and video and enrol in the Young Filmmakers Summer School this coming January at Open Channel. Open Channel is Melbourne's resource centre for independent film and video and offers a comprehensive range of education and training programs geared directly towards entry into the film and video industry. For further information about this exciting prospect, you can call Lynn Kazali, the marketing manager, or Sharon Meldrum, marketing assistant, at Open Channel on 419-5111. 419-5111. Southern FM time, it's now 11 minutes after 11. Coral Stoltz and Juliet Risley invite you to join them in the world of writing and books every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. They'll read some creative writing and review the latest books and tell you of the latest activities happening in our area. So join them every Tuesday at 7 for the Writing and Book Show on 88.3 Southern FM. Yes, a good show there with Coral and Juliet, so why not join them tomorrow night at 7 o'clock here on Southern FM 88.3. We're with you until midnight with Thanks for the Memory, and we're here each and every Sunday night, and our phone number, if you want to call, it's 556 4466 556 4466.
Music, information, local news, radio drama, all part of the great southern sounds of Melbourne. 88.3 Southern FM.
About May, she has only herself to blame. She can't go to the picnics in Hooligan's Grove. No corned beef and cabbage is cooked on her stove. She married Sir Reginald, what's his name? Ain't it a shame about May? Ain't it a crime what she did? Sure, she's only a crazy kid. Now she has to talk fancy and eat caviar and look like those pictures in Harper's Bazaar and try to find happiness just the same. Ain't it a shame for May? Now she has to be social, has to go to the nightclub, has to dance like a Cuban and still act like a lady. Oh, to think that a child of Michael Grady would marry Sir Reginald, what's his name? Ain't it a shame about May? About May. Now she's lost all her spark and flame. She wears sables instead of a skirt and a blouse and has to keep shoes on when she's in the house. She married Sir Reginald, oh, what's his name? Ain't it a shame? Looks like a frame. How did he pay for May?
Ain't It a Shame About Mame? And we heard that time from Mary Martin with Victor Young and the orchestra, and the song from a film called Rhythm on the River. 1940 was the year for that, and the recording made the same year. Hope you enjoyed that. And had a phone call from a lady while we were playing that, asking about a couple of our programs, and a lot of the programs were reshuffled recently, and if you're missing a program and you can't hear it or whatever where it should be, you can get one of the new program guides which have just been released, and these are an excellent grid. They're laid out in a grid so that you can see at a glance where the program that you're interested in fits into the overall scheme of our weekly programming here at Southern FM. So you can pop up to our studios at 358 South Road, Moorabbin. We're right in the Moorabbin Council Arts Complex, and pick up one of these great program guides. So why not do that? But we're happy to answer any queries on 556 or 556 4466. It's 11:15. Time for On This Day, Take 2. This day. Always find those very interesting when I'm researching them too, to find out what happened throughout history. Hope you enjoyed that. On this day for the 27th of November.
Will you survive if there's a bushfire in your district?
Bushfire? We got to get out of here, Willie.
No, Wally. In most cases, the best thing to do is stay inside your house, provided you take proper precautions.
What precautions, Willie?
They're all spelled out in this brochure, Wally.
Oh.
Will you survive?
Great. I'm going to get
Not
now.
Wally.
Be fire safe. Contact your local fire authority for your copy of Will You Survive?
It's 19 minutes after 11 o'clock on Southern FM 88.3 with Alex here, through until midnight, at which time Bill Bennett will take you through the wee small hours. You're listening to Thanks for the Memory, part of your weekend on Southern FM 88.3.
reaching into your community. The great Southern Sounds of Melbourne, 88.3 Southern FM.
The border, down Mexico way. That's where I fell in love when the stars above came out to play. And now as I wander, my thoughts ever stray south of the border, down Mexico way. She was a picture in old Spanish lace, and for a tender while I kissed the smile upon her face. For it was fiesta, and we were so gay, south of the border, down Mexico way. Then she sighed as she whispered mañana, never dreaming that we were parting. And I lied as I whispered mañana, for our tomorrow never came. South of the border, I rode back one day. There in a veil of white, by candlelight, she knelt to pray. The mission bells told me that I mustn't stay south of the border, down Mexico way.
South of the border, down Mexico way, Gene Autry it was, and a song that was written back in 1939 by that prolific songwriting duo of Jimmy Kennedy and Michael Carr. Hope you enjoyed that. And then before that we had Mitch Miller and the Gang, and a song written back in 1945 called Into Each Life, Some Rain Must Fall. Indeed it must. Here's your invitation to be tuned to Southern FM on Sunday for this week's heat of Southern Talent Quest. This program featuring up-and-coming talent will be broadcast between 2 and 3 p.m. Your announcer will be Ray Lawrence and your compere is Bob Horsfall. For an hour of great entertainment, don't miss Southern Talent Quest, Sunday 2 till 3 on 88.3 Southern FM. 26 past 11. Yes, I like to give that a plug because that Talent Quest is really producing some fine young talent. And we had our second heat this afternoon, and next Sunday will be heat 3 in the series of Southern Talent Quest. And of course, Christmas week will hold the big final. And there's a lot of advertising in that about this particular Southern Talent Quest all over the place, and you can vote simply by getting any of the leader newspapers on this side of the city, and they've got the voting forms in it. And we were inundated last week with a huge amount of mail for the Talent Quest, so it's a listening must between 2 and 3 next Sunday for Heat 3 of our Talent Quest. It's coming up to 27 after 11, and we'll have one recording and then Al Bowley Corner, and it's a couple of nice songs from Al tonight. I know you'll enjoy them.
when a bird, young and free, hangs around a certain tree, singing serenades that tell his love is true. That's because it's the natural thing to do. When a sad, moonstruck cow would be glad to make a vow, when she lifts her head and sighs a lonely moo, that's because it's the natural thing to do. And you know every dove has its heart set on love, squirrels too, and they should. And you know a woodchuck would when a boy such as I tries so hard to qualify with a very lovely lady such as you. Can't you see it's the natural thing to do?
I almost forgot. Jan Simcoe rang back too and said g'day to our friends in Robert and Andy. So there you go. I think the Cheerio circle is now complete. Thanks, guys, for your phone calls. Much appreciated. Time on Southern FM, it's 11:30. We present Al Bowley Remembered.
Remember me, just keep me in your memory.
Yes, Al Bowley Remembered, and this is the segment where we play a couple of lovely Al Bowley recordings. Rather than sprinkle them through the program, we like to encapsulate them into a special segment entitled Al Bowley Remembered. Tonight, two lovely songs from 1933, both of them. Firstly, with Lou Stone and his orchestra. This particular song recorded on the 18th of October 1933. Al sings From Me to You.
The birds all singing a little love song that is new, and in the evening they'll be bringing a song from me to you. The setting sun that's making a bed of gold upon the blue can't say goodnight until it's taken a kiss from me to you. love words I'm not able to whisper in your ear. All this world I'll label faithfully yours, my dear. At night when we're apart, love, you'll get a rose that's wrapped in you. And deep inside you'll find my heart, love, a gift from me to you.
Isn't that a pretty song? From Me to You, from October 1933 with Lou Stone. And that's the original 78. That's all I've got. I haven't got it on a vinyl or a CD. In fact, I'm not even sure that it's been re-released in either of those formats. So you have to put up with the clicks and the bumps and the grinds on that one. But it was a lovely song, and I thought it deserved airplay tonight. Our next recording, our second one for Al Bowley Corner, this time Al's singing with Ray Noble, with, I guess, the orchestra that he did most of his recording. And this comes from the 16th of June, 1933. And the song's called You're Mine, You. Al Bowley and Ray Noble, You're Mine, You. You're here with me to stay. You're mine, you. You are mine completely. Love me so sweetly. I need you night and day. Arm in arm, hand in hand, we will be found together. Heart to heart, lips to lips, we're chained and bound together. You know I own you. I don't need to buy love, you're a slave to my love. In every way, you're mine. join us again next time for another presentation of Al Bowley Remembered. Hope you enjoyed those two tracks in Al Bowley Remember tonight. And if you'd like, if you've got any particular favourites from Al Bowley and you'd like me to play one, then give me a ring, 556 4466, 556 4466, and I'll be happy to pop one in the program for you.
David and Maria are pretty much your average teenagers. They hang out with their friends, play a bit of sport, but at this moment in time, they can't live with their family. Through adolescent community placement, they'll have a real chance to be placed within a happy environment, just like your home. So if you can share your home, Adolescent Community Placement and the Children's Welfare Association of Victoria would really appreciate it. For more information, phone toll-free, 1800 013 088.
21 minutes to 12, and at 12 o'clock, Bill Bennett will be with you to take you through the wee small hours of the morning. And that'll be a good show too, so stay tuned for Bill coming up at 12 midnight. Until midnight, you're with Alex Hehr, and thanks for the memory on the great Southern Sounds of Melbourne, Southern FM 88.3.
He stood in a beautiful mansion, surrounded by riches untold. He gazed at the beautiful picture that hung in a frame of gold. 'Twas a picture of a lady, so beautiful, young and fair. To the beautiful lifelike features, he murmured in sad despair. If those lips could only speak, if those eyes could only see, if those beautiful golden tresses were there in reality. Could I only take your hand, as I did when you took my name? But it's only a beautiful picture in a beautiful golden frame. He sat there and gazed at the painting, then slumbered, forgetting all pain. And there in that mansion in fancy, she stood by his side again. Then his lips, they softly murmured the name of his once sweet bride. With his eyes fixed on the picture, he woke from his dream and cried. If those lips could only speak, if those eyes could only see, if those beautiful golden tresses were there in reality, could I only take your hand, as I did when you took my name? But it's only a beautiful picture in a beautiful golden frame.
You're tuned to the great Southern Sounds of Melbourne, 88.3 Southern FM.
It seems we stood and talked like this before. We looked at each other in the same way then, but I can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes you wore. The smile you are smiling then, but I can't remember where or when. Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems that we have met before, and loved before, and loved before, but who knows where or when. It seems we stood and talked like this before. We looked at each other in the same way then, but I can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes you wore. The smile you were smiling then, but I can't remember where or when. Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems that we have met before, and loved before, and loved before, but who knows where or when.
That was pretty, wasn't it? Carl Brisson, the late Carl Brisson, and the Rodgers and Hart song Where or When. And before that, Australia's own Peter Dawson, and the song published way back in 1907, written by Charles Ridgewell and Will Goodwin, called If Those Lips Could Only Speak. It's 14 to 12 on Southern FM 88.3. Bill Bennett with you at midnight. Oh, we'll try that now.
Martha Needles was hanged in the old Melbourne jail in October 1894. She was executed for murdering her husband and children and another man by poisoning. But all she really wanted was to own a boarding house. She poisoned her family one by one with an arsenic-based compound called Rough on Rats, and at each death she collected some more insurance to put towards her dream of a boarding house of her very own. This rich and bereaved young widow then cast her eyes on two saddle-makers, Otto and Louis Junkin. Louis tried to prevent the relationship, but Martha invited him home and gave him a cup of tea, after which he sickened and died. Otto, in love, planned to marry Martha in spite of the tendency of her family and visitors to die in mysterious circumstances. But another brother, Herman Junkin, came on a visit. He was given a cup of tea also, but immediately had it analysed, and the game was up. The bodies of the Needles family and Otto were exhumed and found to be full of arsenic. Martha was arrested, tried and hanged. Her body was buried inside the jail, and the stone over her head was deeply carved with her initials and the date of death. Later, the outer wall of the jail was demolished and the stones, including Martha's stone, were built into the seawall at Brighton. When the beach sand was renewed, her inscription was covered over, but it is still there and will be exposed again when the sand wears away. If we wanted a headline to match Southern FM's footnote to history, we could say, Murdering Martha Lies Low in Beach Hideaway.
We could say that, Bob, but we probably wouldn't. Thank you very much, Bob, for that footnote to history. All right, it's Southern FM 88.3. I've got 12 and a half minutes of thanks for the memory. The next track we're going to play is one that I like very much. It's entitled Our Penthouse on 3rd Avenue, and features Ozzie Nelson and his orchestra with a vocalist Harriet Hilliard. And when I was in the States in September, October this year, I was down at Santa Ana when I looked at one of the newspapers there to find that Harriet Hilliard, Mrs. Ozzie Nelson, had passed away. I think she was a good age, and there you go. So I guess we all have to die sometimes, but I always remember the Nelsons on television back in, I think it was Channel 7 on a Friday night with Ricky and David and Ozzie and Harriet. So sad to see the passing of another star. Music, I think, and this time we have, as I said, our Penthouse on 3rd Avenue with Ozzie Nelson and the orchestra and Mrs. Nelson doing the vocal.
Penthouse on 3rd Avenue, only a few stories high, where smoke hides the blue of the sky. No roses in bloom or a fancy blue room. It isn't a beautiful view, with clothes hanging out there to dry, and watching the trains rumbling by. But you're satisfied, so am I. A stone's throw away, the rich folks stay, with gardens and artistic bars. But what do we care? They're no happier there than we are, with only the moon and the stars. The taxis, the noise in the street, the whistling of boats all night through. Still we never fuss, it's heaven to us, our penthouse on 3rd Avenue.
Our Penthouse on 3rd Avenue and Ozzie Nelson's orchestra with Harriet Hilliard. It's 9 to 12 on Southern FM 88.3, and Bill Bennett's with you at midnight to take you through the wee small hours.
Your eyes are the eyes of a woman in love, and oh, how they give you away. Why try to deny you're a woman in love, when I know very well what I say? I say no moon in the sky ever lent such a glow. Some flame deep within made them shine. Those eyes are the eyes of a woman in love, and may they gaze evermore into mine, crazily gaze evermore into mine. No moon in the sky ever lent such a glow. Some flame deep within made them shine. Those eyes are the eyes of a woman in love, and may they gaze evermore into mine. Crazily gaze evermore into mine.
And that was Ernie Sigley, of course, with Tom Davidson and the orchestra from Melbourne, and a little bit of Australian talent from Guys and Dolls. And your eyes are the eyes of a woman in love. Well, this is Alex Hehr bidding you all a very good evening. Hope you've enjoyed the music. If you have, let the station know. Ring and write or fax. Until next Sunday evening between 8 and midnight, this is Alex Hehr saying a very good night to you all. Stay tuned now for Bill Bennett, who will be with you through the wee small hours. Until then, God bless everyone. Goodbye now.